Hey fantasy fans, welcome back. It's Dan here with Treebeard Book Reviews, and it's January 2023. Wow, we're already here in the new year, so I'm gonna be talking about the books I plan to read in January. I know this is like a to be read or a maybe read. Like my December plans went completely out the window. I just pretty much stopped reading at a certain point. I was kind of not dealing with burnout, but I was trying to read some books that I just wasn't ready to read, and so I just kind of, enjoyed my holidays, Christmas holidays. Already started 2023 off with a bang. Already read one book. It's going to be on this TBR. I'm going to mention it, but you've already probably seen the review because it's already out. So, but let's get into this 2023 January TBR. All right, guys, so we're back, but there's one thing I want us to talk about before we get into the TBR for January, and one of those things is my Patreon. So I'm going to be making a big change to the last tier of my Patreon called the Old Man Willow, and I'm really going to be changing something up. So there are only 12 of these available. There are currently 2 taken, so thank you to Paul and Powell for being my Old Man Willow patrons, but what's changing for this patron level is a bit of an addition. So all the current perks are still staying. You get a t-shirt, get a bookmark, you get to pick a book. And what's really changing with picking that book is you get to pick that book in a month. I will read it. I will do a review. But what I'm planning to do now is I will send you an annotated copy. So the book you pick for me to read, that you choose, I will read it, I will mark it up, and then I will mail that book to you for you. I guess it's kind of a keepsake. I don't know if it's a keepsake. I don't like to big myself up or anything like that. But, just something more personal that I would like to do for my patrons and kind of express my gratitude. So, if you're interested in joining at that level, it is the highest patron level. And, if anyone's interested, it is there. That's something new. I'm going to be updating the Patreon to reflect that change now. But enough about that. Let's talk about the books I'm going to be reading in January. I've already read one, so I'm kind of cheating already, but let's talk about that one first. So the first book I have already read in January is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I got that on January at midnight. I read this in 2 ways. I read it both in ebook and the audiobook by Michael Kramer. I absolutely loved it. There's a review out on the channel. I wouldn't say absolutely loved it. That's disingenuous. I liked it. It's a decent Brandon novel. It's YA. The review's out. Check that review out. It's spoiler free, so I'm already 1 book down in January. Like, woohoo! Like, kind of nice. I said, actually, that kind of really relates to my Goodreads reading goals. I've set a reading goal of 80 books this year. Last year I read 71 books, so not bad. Like, I think I can hit that goal. I'm going to be kind of chugging along here, get a few more books on this TBR. So, first book down, read it. Tress of the Emerald Sea, but let's talk about my other physical reads of the year. So this first series, I started it last year in January 2022, and I'm picking up book 2 now in 2023. It's been a long time, I know, I suck. But I actually was originally planning to do this on audio, and I started on audio on January 1st, and it wasn't working for me. It was just not confusing, but I felt lost. So I've gone and I'm doing the old switcheroo, and I'll talk about, when I get to my audiobook reads, what the switcheroo was. So I'm going to be reading Dead House Gates. I'm already, I think I'm on chapter 4, about 13 or 14% into this novel already. Way better to read. I just think this is better to read. I tried the audio. I thought, maybe I could sneak in the audio version, but no, this really needs to be read, so I am reading it. And that is the Dead House Gates, book 2 of Malazan. So these are in no particular order of when I'm going to read them, except for Dead House Gates, because I am reading that right now. I am currently reading it. But the next ones, the next, I guess, 3, could be at any point. Probably the next one I'm going to read next, just because it's so big. And that is The Forgetting Moon by Brian Lee Durfee. Everyone said this book is amazing, or the series is amazing. Reviewers I trust, Matt's book reviews, Mike's book reviews. These are guys I watch all the time. I really both enjoy both of their reviews. They're both wonderful booktubers. And Brian Lee Durfee, he's just such a character. I'm subscribed to his channel, and I love his channel. He just seems like such a cool dude. And But, I've watched, like, Mike's review of this, and he said, Brian can kind of come off, like, goofy, but, like, he's such a serious writer, so I'm so in for this. And this is that series that was picked on I put out a poll, pick a series for me to read. This came, like, hands down the top. I think it was, like, 42% of the votes were for the Five Warrior Angels. Super down for it. I'm going to be reading this after Dead House Gates. And even though, like, it's thick, like, she's thick, but the font's fairly decent size, so I actually think I can get through this, like, at a good pace. So, going to be reading this in January. So excited. All right, so the next two really are interchangeable. I'm probably going to read, you'll know which one I'm going to read first. And I'll just show you. I'm just going to show you the one I'm going to read first. All right, so I'm probably going to read Thud first by Terry Pratchett. You knew there was going to be a Discworld book on there. Getting back to the Guard series, and if you watch my, like, best books of 2022, the Guard series was just slam dunk after slam dunk last year. They were so good. Thud is said to be the best Guard book. So I'm super, it's weird, like, I'm hedging my bets here. Like, I got all these super powerhouse books in January where, Forgetting Moon, Thud, Dead House Gates, because Dead House Gates is recognized as one of the best Malazan books as well, too. So, a lot of good books in January. I'm super excited. So, Thud, can't go wrong with Pratchett. Favorite author. Just love this guy. So, getting into that. The next one is Origins of the Wheel of Time. This is a super short book. I could probably read this in one sitting, like, just get a coffee and just go to town. And it's really short. It's beautiful. This is my, I guess it's like a broken binding edition. Like, I saw it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. Like, it's so short, and it's just really cool. It's got, like, the beautiful, like, Wheel of Time symbol on there. So I'm super interested to read that this year. Mainly because of, what a lot of us are doing on the channel this year is a reread of The Wheel of Time. And so I am going to be rereading The Wheel of Time, starting with The Eye of the World. So this is the switcheroo. I wanted to physically read this year. I've done it on audio before. I did a mix. I did a mix of audio, like, kind of immersive and, like, and physical reading with the Wheel of Time series for my first go through. Absolutely adored it. Love Michael Kramer and Kate Redding's narration. But, everyone's reading Wheel of Time this year. There's so many people who are on the channel and, getting in on this read. I couldn't stop. I've already started listening to this. I'm on, like, chapter 8, I think. So this is my first audiobook listen of January. Wheel of Time is such a fantastic series. There is a channel in the Discord, so if you want to join on this buddy read or join us reading this whole series, if you go to the Wheel of Time channel on my Discord and you hold down on the channel, if you're on your phone, or click down on the channel, you can see where January is Eye of the World. I think like a few people have already finished this, and it's like the 3rd or 4th of January when this video is coming out. So yeah, people are smashing this out. Super excited to get to this again. One of my favorite series. So this book I actually started in December. I was really enjoying my time with it. There's no knock on the book why I stopped it. But it was really mainly because when I got back from Raleigh, I had a really busy week of work, and then, work ended and I started the Christmas holidays. And pretty much from December 22nd all the way till like January 1st, I was playing like board games every day with my wife and my kids. I don't know how many board games I played. I probably played like 40 board games, which is a lot. But I just had such a good time with my family over the holidays and spending time with them. So I really put the books down and I focused on family time, and I really enjoyed that time. So this book kind of got put by the wayside, and I needed another Audible read. So I've just opted to buy this on audiobook. The Justice of Kings. I'm going to be finishing. It's really short. Like, it's such a short novel. Like, I could have finished it physically, but I was really just focusing on time with my family. So I'm going to be listening to this right after I finish Eye of the World, because I'm really excited for the second book coming out in February, which I am 100% going to be getting. So I was like 120 pages in when I stopped, so I'm just gonna lead off from where I was, because I remember what was going on. Because this is a great entry by Richard Swan. Like, I think it was even on Mike's channel where this was like in his top 10, and I totally get why it's there. So that's it, guys. This is my January 2023 TBR. what a stacked list of books. Yeah, already got one book under my belt. But really what I want to know is, like, what are you reading in January? Like, what is the most anticipated book that you're going to be reading? If I guess, quickly before we end here, if I was to rank all the books, what I would probably give them as a rating, I think all these books are probably going to be like 4 or 5 star. I mean, Eye of the World's 5 star. I love Eye of the World. Dead House Gates, I can see it being a 4 or 5 star. I guess, Thud is probably gonna be a 5 star. 100% is gonna be a 5 star. This I actually see it being a 4 or 5 star. Probably leaning more towards the 5 star. I think with the Origin of the Wheel of Time, I think that might be a little bit lower. Maybe like a 4 is kind of my expectations. And then Forgetting Moon, I'm fully expecting a 5. Like just a bang, like straight to the top shelf with that series. So that's my kind of, my thinking for January. But again, let me know what you're reading. I really want to hear it. And as always, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.